Hello? Oh, hello. Hi. Also, hello. Hi, Christy. How you doing? Yeast! Was the Yeast gods there? Yeast! Yeast gods! Welcome to the stream. What a way to start. Yeah. We're here. It's a stream. I'm reliably informed those things are true. How you doing, Christy? You doing good? Having a good time? Frame man, be careful. I'm watching you. You haven't taken any frames yet, but I saw you sneaking up. Honestly. Yeah, we're back for the Bioshock Infinite Drawthrough. I forgot what the game was called then. We're here, and we're here for awkwardness. As such is the nature of this story. It's fun and silly in many places, and then in other places it isn't. Which is why it's a oddly interesting game to talk about. So yeah. Yeah, let's hop on over to the thingamabob. The screen. Das Scren. There it is. For a quick recap of what's happened so far. Well, at the very, very beginning, with Bioshock Infinite. We were in a boat heading towards a lighthouse with some instructions to bring us the girl and wipe away the debt, as is the phrase. We went into the lighthouse, we solved a puzzle involving some bits and pieces, we got strapped into a rocket, flew up into the air, and then found a big old city in the sky called Columbia. It's made of just sort of floating bits and bobs. On our way there, we saw a poster which had a bunch of sort of scripture on it, of the kind of like, I sort of made up this sentence of, the prophet raised us from the Sodom below to his new Eden, and this our prophet Lord Jefferson, or Father Jefferson, or whatever it would be. We got briefly baptized, by which I mean drowned, in order to get into the city, and we had some weird visions of being in an office full of empty bottles and betting slips and such. We opened the door and saw Manhattan being bombed from above, which was fun. We then got hit by a missile and woke up, and we had a drowning hallucination, as happens. Don't know about you, but I've had loads. Thereafter, we decided to explore the city a little bit. We were given a telegram telling us to seek Monument Island. Don't let Jefferson know that we're here, and do not pick whatever we do. Whatever we do. Under any other circumstances, you can do this, but absolutely not now. Do not pick number 47. This is a message from F. Locksman. We then saw some barbershop quartets. We saw a couple of people. One of them was juggling. They were wearing similar-looking suits. We didn't steal any money from a shop. We found a robot horse, because that's a thing in this world. If they got a flying city, why don't they have a robot horse? I think that's perfectly reasonable. They also have magic. That's slightly less reasonable, but they do. And we saw some people showing off some magic on a stage. We got magic ourselves, the ability to summon ghosts from our hand. This allows us to take control of robots, in particular the robot that was waiting for tickets to let us into a raffle, which we'll get to in a little bit. It's a good robot horse. I'm not good with horses. It's the best I could do. We also saw something called the Handyman. Don't worry about that. We'll never see that again, I'm sure. And there was a shooting range where you could have fun shooting the Vox Populi, whatever that means. Yeah. Then we got into the raffle where we saw, well, we didn't get to the raffle yet, but we had admittance to the area where the raffle was. There we saw a statue of somebody called Flora Locksman, who was apparently the person who created the technology that allows the city to fly. Horses' muscles are what makes them useful. Good idea with robot horses. Yeah. I think it was literally pulling a cart or something. But I think the cart mostly consisted of its own power source, so, you know. There's limited usefulness there. Yeah, so we saw a statue of Flora Locksman with a little tape from a little girl who left it there saying, "Oh, you're such an inspiration. I want to be like you when I grow up." And there was a poster saying, "Beware the false shepherd," with a big old evil hand on it with the letters BW glowing in red on the back. And our protagonist, who we have named Jack Walters, looks at his hand and remembers that, oh, hey, yeah, I've got BW carved into the back of my hand. That's an issue. We also see some policemen having a good old time talking about their new, I always want to call it a hook shop. It's not a hook shop. What's it called? Hook, line, and sinker. What is spinning the hooks of doom? The skyhook. That's what it's called. It's called a skyhook. Because it allows you to travel around on all the rails that connect together all of these big floating parts of the city. Yeah. And they're having a good time. We then go to a raffle. Things don't go well. Firstly, we have to choose a thing from the raffle bucket. We pick number 47, which we were expressly told not to do. And the announcer came over and said, "Aha, you have won the raffle." And we say, "I don't know, what does that mean? What do we win?" He says, "You win first throw," at which point the curtains are drawn and we find an interracial couple tied and bound onto the stage with racist caricatures of wedding participants as monkeys. Surrounded in cardboard, and we get first throw. This is when the racism hits home. This is not an accepting community we have found ourselves in. Hello, you just woke up again. Hope you're doing all right. Hope you're doing all right. Hope you had a good sleep. Just doing a quick recap of what's happened so far. Luckily, well, not luckily, but you know, I cultivate a community of people here who, you know, are nice and are accepting and are not inherently racist, and so we decided that our first throw should go towards the announcer. But before we can actually manage to do that, we are grabbed by some police, and they're like, "Hey, you've got BW on your hand. That means you're the false shepherd." And you know what that means? And then they take their skyhook and start spinning it menacingly in front of our face. Unfortunately, we're slightly stronger than them, so we instead redirect the spinning claws of doom into the face of another policeman. And that's when peace is shattered. Forevermore. The rest of the game will be played in panic. Luckily, it was just policeman TBA. They didn't have a face yet, so it works out fine. Yeah, after a lot of running around and being shot by policemen, you then travel through the streets trying to find this Monument Island, which you're looking for, trying to find this girl that you need to bring back. Before you can do that, however, you are confronted by the fireman, whose name is much more literal than our usage. Literally just covered in fire and screaming for a helmet all the time and exploding and stuff. But you can successfully defeat them and pick up their ability to create fire yourself. So in the same way that you drank a thing that could cause you to control ghosts to control machines, you can now control fire. And like plant little fire bombs on the floor for people to run into and stuff like that. This has no bearing on the gameplay whatsoever, or on the story whatsoever. It's just a gameplay thing. Thereafter, we get our own. Oh no, I was about to say we get our own skyhook. We got our own skyhook by shoving it in someone's face. That's the one from before. We took that one. But the skyhook allows you, as I say, to travel on the skylines that travel around all of these floating city things. And how do you actually get up to the skylines? Magnets. You just sort of fly up there. It's weird. You can jump 50 feet in the air. It's great. Yeah. And so we do a bit of running around the city trying to find out where this place is. And the only immediately noticeable thing in this part of the game that you run through is essentially a base of operations for a anti-segregation pamphleteering group who have a portrait of Abraham Lincoln on a wall, albeit covered slightly by a curtain. So yeah, there are there's conflict in this society as to, hey, maybe not. How about not racism? And then there's a lot of people going, well, how about racism though? It's one of those deals, you know? And that's where we left off. So we are going to carry on. In order to do that, I would like to have the colour I was drawing in. Thank you. What is this colour? Not memorable, that's what it is. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna draw a bar for a bit. How's everybody doing? Are we having a good day? Apart from the those of us people who have just woken up, because that's a bit of a redundant question. It's kind of bar-like music. Oh, that's not. As usual with these streams, because I can't use the Bioshock Infinite soundtrack because it's full of copyrighted music. Oh yeah, I guess I should Well, shouldn't have to remind. Nah, that's fine. I'm listening to the Grim Fandango soundtrack because it's sort of. It's nothing like the Bioshock Infinite soundtrack, but it's kind of old sounding. Completely different era, but whatever. Oh, the game takes place, I think, in 1918. That's something I should probably specify. Yeah. So here's a bar. There's like big old things behind the bar, full of glasses and stuff, which I'm not going to draw. And behind the bar, we see some peoples. I think there is a man behind the bar, cleaning a glass. Hello, Dark. How you doing? Apologies for my throat. It's been a bit weird all day. 'Tis winter. 'Tis the season to be groggy and all that. I've played a little bit more of the game, but that might have just made me forget the earlier parts. So I'm not late. You're not late. I'm the. We're collectively not late. They are. Got it. Cool. Hi. Don't worry. I just did a recap of things that are happening, and now we're in a bar. Gotta be faster than this. This is a draw through. Gotta do a lot of drawing. You finished 2 out of the 9 pages last night. You're contemplating pages 3 and 4, contemplating getting coffee. I advised coffee before. You're making cheese on toast. Well, if ever there was a legitimate excuse for being late to something, I think that's pretty high up the list of candidates. I have something constantly glinting in my eye, and it's very annoying. Go away. You accidentally slept in? Oh no! Well, hopefully it wasn't. Hopefully you didn't have any strong plans, as it were. Strong plans? That's not an expression. Out of hands work, not like that. No, hang on. Would you? Yeah. Sorry, I don't know why that took me off guard. Look at this man in his tiny hands. How's your day been, miss? Has it been good? Had a good Wednesday? other than art and laundry near big plants. Marvellous. There's also a door here, which is how you are trying to get out of here. However, in front of the door is another person. It's a door, you get the idea. Well, a goblin draw. I've been seeing the goblins. The goblins are good. They're tiny and floating. Don't mind me, I've never drawn feet before. I don't know what's going on with the footwear here, it's fine. The good thing about drawing feet is that nobody knows what feet look like anyway, so nobody's going to pick you up on it. You just had to draw feet on a skateboard. You think you broke your brain doing so? If only people who skated were more photogenic and were willing to film themselves, then there'd be so many more references for that sort of thing. But alas, they're very shy. You felt the pain in your soul. So shy, hardly a single image out there of anyone on a skateboard. Jollies do very well, at inconsistent sizes, it must be said. I'm hoping to capture their peculiar aloofness. What do we name her again? We don't know yet. I don't know when we will know, actually. Context clues are there, but I guess for the purposes of the uninitiated, maybe I shouldn't say anything, but... There are obviously limitations in my ability to draw. Although actually, soon we should probably be able to have the game give us names. But, this is huge. Anyway, so these two are here. We've seen them before. They have surprisingly strong British accents, in comparison to most of the people here, who speak like kind of Southern belles and such. And she is holding a thing. A sort of drink, I guess? Vial, file thing. And it's doing some stuff. It's got a big old sort of insignia of some description on it. Got a logo. But I guess more importantly, and it's got some liquid in it. But more importantly, it's kind of just sort of glitching out a bit. Looks a bit weird. It's kind of flicking between multiple colours. Sometimes it's yellow, sometimes it's red, sometimes it's green. Drink up, Mr. What's her name again? Walters. Jack Walters. That's an Amogus. It's fine, it's a glitchy Amogus. I don't think they say anything extraordinarily important here. If they have, I've forgotten it, but... I feel like they do, and I've just forgotten. Miss, is there anything? I'm using Miss as my backup here. This is the actual knowledgeable one. I have a brain of half a goldfish. We have ascertained this. This brain is soup. Oh no, soup and a goldfish. What a combination. Anyway, yeah, weird glitchy drink existing. You get to take it, and in it, well, you get to choose what drink it is. So you can choose to either have the red drink, the yellow drink, or the blue drink. It's not green, it's blue. And it's basically just an upgrade, mechanically speaking. Red gives you more health, yellow gives you a shield, sort of thing, and blue increases your ability to cast spells. Or the amount of times you can do it. Cream soda. I had so much cream soda as a kid that it now makes me feel slightly ill to have it. You ever had one of those things where you just had far too much of it in your youth? You just can't have it anymore? Cream soda. That was for me. So yeah, they do their standard little chit-chat thing, where they sort of back and forth each other, kind of finishing each other's sentences and having immediate sort of quips. Fanta. Fantastic. The only cream soda you can get now is sugar-free and was just awful. That's fair. A lot of my favourite sort of carbonated drinks are sweetened rather than sugared nowadays. I feel like I've sort of overdone the sugariness. But that said, things like sort of lemonade and stuff like that doesn't quite work. And when I say lemonade, I don't mean I don't mean lemon lemonade. I mean, you know, the sort of cheap mass-produced lemonade that's just perfectly clear somehow. So it's not a lemon. A lemon briefly wandered into the room that it was being made. Is Chip here for the choice? Does it matter in the draw-through? This doesn't matter at all. I just wanted to draw them. But I did also want to, you know, point out, hey look, they're holding a bottle that's glitching. That's a bit weird. Because nothing else weird has happened so far. Which mysterious beverage are we drinking without question? you can pick up a lot of them throughout the game. It doesn't matter too much which one you have now. But I always go for the shield. The shield is good. It's like just slightly better health because the shield comes back. Sugar-free creme soda to balance the creme. Seems perfectly normal. Not an issue at all. Right, what's next? What's next? I imagine we've already discussed the lady who did the the portrait for the police. So I guess the next place is the... Okay, yeah, more running through the streets, more jumping around and fighting policemen. Lots and lots of policemen. This is probably like knocking on 50 at this point that you've just sort of either run straight past, as I did in my playthrough, or killed. A lot of jumping between platforms and things like that before you find yourself up against a big building. And the big building, I believe, is called something like the Fraternal Brotherhood of the Raven or something? Fraternal Brotherhood of the Crow... Something to do with crows. Is it crows? I think it's crows. The Sky City mass produces policemen. There are so many. It is crows, yeah. This section always felt slightly out of place in this because it feels like Bioshock, and the rest of the game doesn't. But this feels like the most Bioshocky sort of area because it's all you go in this building and it's this sort of like grand building with like big staircases and all sort of stuff. But one of the things you probably notice first in this building are just extraordinarily long tables, absolutely covered in feasts of food. Just sort of like decked up with plates all the way along it, and like sort of big plates in the middle with just like piles of food on it. This food, I don't know when it went off, but it was a while ago, and there are just like flies buzzing round, and it's not good. There's a lot of rotting food just sort of lying around here. And like, you know, in Bioshock 1, that would make a certain degree of sense. But hey, this is a functioning city. Why is there just lots of rotten food on a table? There are people in this building, by the way. This isn't... but hey, the crows are having a wonderful time because it turns out calling this the Fraternal Order of the Crow or whatever it is. Fraternal Brotherhood of the Ostrich Kafka. Am I going to have to turn this into an ostrich thing as well? Am I determined to... Well, actually, the last time we did that was ravens. It was supposed to be ravens, and we turned it into ostriches. This one's crows, so... Do not abandon feasts. Abandon feast. But yeah, it's like big dining halls filled with food and stuff, and lots of chairs all sort of set out around here. But like I say, the actual... Am I going ostriches here? It's going to make a scene later a bit weird. Fun bird? Less fun bird. All given the circumstances surrounding these things, not quite so fun. I guess this is a party. Maybe you can have a party hat. Crows and ravens are interchangeable, just one's more fashionable. I like all of them. Definitely not fun, party crows. I mean, the thing is, okay, if I were to put an ostrich here, right? Just hypothetically, if I were to draw an ostrich just sort of sitting on the table, munching away at the carrion or whatever. And I were to, for example, because this is a banquet and it's reminiscent of Funbird, give it like a pointy hat. Right. Is that a yes or a no? Just in general. Because I don't really want to... No, okay, cool. I don't want the bird to be involved. They're just a bird, right? I think the birds should just be birds and having bird times. Just chomping away on some bones or something. Bunch of crows, one died black ostrich. Nope, it's all ostriches now. In for a penny. In for an ostrich. It's all floofy. This is the row of chairs. Perspective be damned. Can I have a little sign around his neck saying crow? Yeah. Definitely a legit sign. They're allowed to be in here. Do not ask questions. Make that a bit thicker. Finally got an up! Yeah! I need to let some of the crows out and had to cover quickly. So they just found some ostriches nearby. Picturing all these crows flying, and then later on hearing the terrifying pat 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 pat. That could make an encounter later more interesting, I think. Quite high in this perspective, I don't know why. But, yeah, we're just here, and there's, like, ornate fireplaces and stuff. Like, it's a proper nice building that we're in. Were it not for all the rotted food. Yeah, like I say, there's lots of flies flying around. It's not a good time. Definitely not hygienic. It is the 1918s, but nonetheless, people should still know better by then. Hey, you get the idea. Doesn't matter. Hang on. There's this tablecloth on here now. Now we don't have to worry. God, this has got to be a messy tablecloth at this point. So yeah, let's draw Jack. Jack's here as well. He is showing his disdain for the food. Just walking in and like, oh god! This looks great. Don't worry about it. This is how faces look. This is human anatomy incarnate. This is going fine. Do not concern yourself, everything's good here. Go about your business. This scene gave you Pan's Labyrinth vibes, kind of. You think it was just long tables of food. It feels quite out of place with the rest of the game. I like it, because it feels very Bioshocky, but this game doesn't feel very Bioshocky, so... It feels like something from an older draft of the game, just sort of... You know, the people liked and they're like, oh, we can keep that in. Yeah. You're also flying, don't worry about it. You're also quite slim now, inexplicably. Oh god, the smell! Oh god, the cars? Jackie learned to need to be more accepting. Speaking of which, there are people here. And they don't take too kindly to you being here. And so they decide to attack. With sticks and guns. Surprising number of them come to attack you with sticks. Because they were having a meeting. They were having a meeting in a big hall. And they do not take kindly to people interrupting their meetings. How does the human body work? It is a mystery. Fortunately, a decent amount of this is going to be covered in a robe. Because this is a fraternity, and fraternities are inherently creepy, and robe-like, and cultish. But this one in particular has a slight, sinister bent to it. Because you can't say, historical American-themed racist society and cult meeting in the same sentence without a big pointy hat. So yeah, Fraternal Order of the Crow. Not good people. Turns out. Who'd have thought? In Colombia, of all places. I think they've probably got little viewing windows. I think there's like, the robes themselves are quite dark, if I remember correctly. They're not, you know, they're not your typical livery. And they've got some nice embroidery and stuff like that on them, sort of gold, dark fabric and gold embroidery and stuff. But yeah, very, very much, you know, familiar symbol. Oh, indeed. Come to hit you with a stick. Big old cudgel. Wish those were traffic cones. It would take a lot of the edge off, I think. It's got sort of like some nice sort of embroidery around the thing. There's probably like a little pattern of some description. This looks like a nose. Like these are well made. These are not shoddily put together. This is a wealthy to-do place. I'm also going to imagine they're just sort of, when you get changed into your robe, you're still wearing like socks. The Crazy Crow Crew. That they aren't also the firefighters is surprising. Yeah, they're different. These serve a similar purpose. In terms of like, you know, you don't fight them for long, like as a group, but they do become. There's a certain element of them that becomes a recurring feature, which I will. This isn't a run. This is a. You whippersnapper, get off of my lawn! Would it be helpful if I turned it like this? Not really. No, it just looks like they're falling over. Don't worry about it. I think it's probably got something to do with the fact that their lower half is significantly shorter than their upper half. Although that might be the effect of the hat. Probably not. It's probably just me being bad at drawing. Drawing is hard. Have I ever mentioned that drawing's hard? Sorry, Jack, you can have your fingers back now. So yeah, this was why I wanted to avoid giving Fun Bird a pointy hat. Because they're just birds, you know? That reminds you of your friend who innocently was going to name his Warhammer armor the Crazy Kroot Carnivores until he suddenly clocked. Yeah. It's one of those, it's like, you know, doing that thing where you change C's to K's. It's fun, it's kind of almost childish. You know, particularly if it's like, you know, orcs or something doing it. But, history has rather ruined it. I say history. It's not going to pretend it's fully gone away. So yeah, this is the order of the Ostrich. They're not nice. They're not nice people. In fact, there are some signs on the wall that you will see intermittently. And I'm not talking like, you know, little plaques or anything like that. I'm talking like massive circular metal plates riveted to the wall. That have like I'm not going to dignify this with good lettering. It's like protecting. Well, actually, I think the R goes down. Yeah. Well, your arm's in the way, so. Excuse me, Mr. Hatsman, can you shift out of the way? I'm trying to write your racist sign for you. Protecting. Right, something like that. Like a big old metal sign with embossed metal. So, you know, their objective is pretty clear. You get a bit uncomfortable with just ships being SS, yeah. Eventually, the memories of those abbreviations will fade and then they can get reused for other things. But, in the same way that hopefully one day the swastika will... People will no longer associate it with what it is, and then, you know, the Hindus can have it back as a symbol of peace and stuff like that, as it was before. But, the fewer things that can be used for hateful purposes, the better, if that's my personal opinion on things, and I don't think that should be controversial. How about we don't be hateful? Anyway, Bioshock Infinite. On a completely separate topic, let's move forward to a room with someone being tortured. How about that? I won't draw it. I will draw our protagonist reacting to it because he does so through a slightly open door. It's very cheerful mariachi style music. It's great. Even when I try, it looks bad. What's going on? I need to practice drawing people again. It's been too long. Yeah, so we're going through this place. It's not very nice. And we open a door, but it doesn't open fully. But we get to peep through the door, and through the door we see somebody tied to a... thing, like a vertical sort of board of some description. And they're screaming and not having a particularly good time, and they're saying something to somebody that we can't see. By saying, I mean shouting. Probably something along the lines of, hey, please let me go, I have a family, or whatever. And then all of a sudden, a big old flock of ostriches comes along. And just pecks them to death. And this is a sight that Mr. Jack here doesn't take too great. Like, oh. Because it's the sight of somebody being pecked to death by ostriches. You don't have sideburns. Okay. That's what's missing. Stubble. And a few crows, here and there. You know, the collective now it is for a group of ostriches. That's right, it's a homicide. So yeah, it's not a nice sight. It's just sort of... feathers flying all around. It's a time! Oh, look at that happy radish. Every now and then you just need a happy radish to, you know, detract from the horror of the situation that's going on.
Wilhelm scream.
Ah! Or whatever it is. How do you think you would react to seeing somebody pecked alive by ostriches, or pecked to death by ostriches? You write your answers in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I have a TikTok. I see my TikTok. It's called the Weird Bird Facts _14. That's as good as a face like that's going to get for a bit. Oh, hello, I missed it. Bother. Oh, bother. You're back with hot chocolate. You had a need. I understand that need, because I had it this morning and got hot chocolate. Can recommend if you have the need to get hot chocolate. Go get hot chocolate. I dare you. So yeah, somebody being pecked to death by ostriches. It's not ideal. And that's because there's a person here who has the ability to just summon a flock of ostriches. And so I'm going to draw them very quickly. Sorry, crow. They're not crows, they're ostriches. No, they're not ostriches, they're crows. I don't think the crows have a say in this. So yeah, you just have like a kind of mini boss battle in the same way that you fought what was his name? The fireman. You now have the crowman. I don't think they have a particular name. I'm just gonna call them the crowman. One other fun thing you can find here, because this is a great time, it's fantastic, it's a lovely place. You should visit sometime. You can find a secret torture chamber that's like full of the rusty tools and things. It's hidden behind a bookcase. It's great. These people are lovely. And yeah, all of the signs on the wall saying protecting our race and stuff like that. It's you know. I believe he's carrying a coffin on his back. I don't know why. Sort of like chained to him or something. Anyway, he has the ability to just sort of summon crows at will. Which is an ability you get when you defeat him. Because it turns out it was just a magic liquid. These guys are from the labyrinth. Look. You're not making me want to watch the labyrinth if these guys are in it. Oh. I mean, there's some stylistic differences. Do you know what? That looks like the Dragon Rider from Dark Souls. I think maybe they're being a little bit embellishing their CV somewhat by calling themselves Dragon Riders. Has the music ended already? Has it been an hour? How's it been an hour? Well, back we go. I haven't drawn anything. Oh no, I can't see. What is it? Ah, cool radish. Cool. Cool relish. Cool radish. Relish. So yeah, you have a crow fight. You get the ability called Murder of Crows, of course it is, which just allows you to summon crows for some reason. Because magic. Don't ask questions, it's Bioshock. So I should specify, the reason this game is called Bioshock is because its predecessor was called Bioshock. And the reason the predecessor was called Bioshock is because the story sort of revolved around these magical potions. That just gave you random abilities. Now, obviously, from a gameplay standpoint, it's like, hey, you can have spells. But in the story, it's like to do with genetic splicing, and it's this whole part of the sort of main original plot. In this game, they're just sort of there. And there's kind of a reason we'll get to later that they're there, but not really. So, if you're wondering why these magical potions can suddenly allow you to summon crows, I don't know. Yeah, so it's a hangover from the previous game. As is the name, Bioshock. I think this game would have benefited from being called something else, but like Reality Shock or something along those lines. But we'll get to that. Yeah. So now we can leave here and never come back. It's just a short little section. But enough to make you go, oh, Basically introducing a new enemy type and giving you a new magical spell. Or Vigor, as they are called in this game. Plasmid, as they're called in the original. This makes as much sense as Sinking City. Well, that's the original game. Columbia's in the clouds. Rapture was below sea. Yeah, so that being done, what happens next? You get out, you leave. Yes, okay, I know what happens next. So you are flying through the air on a skyline, and you come across this you come across a flying platform that has like it's the entrance to Monument Island, which is the place that you're looking for, and it's just swarming with policemen, just all shooting up at you while you're flying on the skyline. And then you hear, like, over a tannoy, you hear a big booming voice going, "Stand down!" And all of the policemen stop shooting at you, and they turn around and they just sort of kneel down on the floor, facing the direction. And yeah, and you walk into the sort of the building that they're all in front of, and there's like this very slow moving lift that takes you up to the second floor. Which you get on and activate the lever so that it takes you up. Just sort of a platform sort of thing. Yeah, it's got a little lever thing. It's a bit chunkier than that, but sure. One of those. One of those ones that you find in like a railway signal box. Something like that. Anyway, that's incredibly important to the plot. But what's also happening is in front of you is a giant airship. You do like this bit, yeah. Hopefully I can remember what it entails. There's a lot of dialogue that happens here. Because in front of you is purportedly a, well, there's like a window that you can see out of. So it's like around the window, it's all, you're in a very sort of dark industrial sort of room. Let me just do this. And you're looking out into the sky. I think that's the biggest difference between Bioshock Infinite and Bioshock the original is obviously Columbia's in the sky, so everything's quite bright. But they use it to its advantage because you have these indoor areas that are really dark and then the outdoor areas which are really bright. Anyway, you're standing here looking outside, and outside, as I say, is a big old airship. And from the airship comes booming voices, and indeed is a screen. And on that screen you can see a big old face. And it's a very sort of staticky black and white sort of screen. That's got like nice gilding to it and stuff. It's very fancy, which I can absolutely not do justice here. But on the screen is the face that you may or may not recognize from before. It is the face of Father Jefferson. He is speaking to you directly. Albeit, well, not directly. He is speaking. He's speaking to you directly. He's not. It's a screen. You might actually be able to see him on the airship. But yeah, things. I'm trying to remember, there is a sequence I've just remembered that, I'm drawing this on the wrong layer. Let's merge them. There we go. Now, I wonder why I wasn't getting as much clarity as I should have. Whatever, as a screen. And, oh, how did I draw this guy? It's got this kind of flat hair and a big old sort of, got a square face and a big old beard, big nose, Don't say that to his face, he's very austere. See, he's got a big white beard and quite sort of... You have quite short, long white hair? No, it goes back, doesn't it? Abraham Lincoln. I don't think you'd like that comparison. But we'll get to that. Anyway, he starts talking to you, and he starts saying... well, firstly, he knows your name, which is not great, given, again, we were told, do not let Jefferson know you're here. And he's like, hello, Mr. Walters. I know why you're here. You have come to take away my lamb. And you're like, what? I don't want any fuss. I just need... I've come to collect the girl and wipe away the debt. That's literally all I know. He's like, you shall not lead my lamb astray. For you see, I am a prophet. I knew you were going to come here. Prophecy is my business. Indeed, I know all about you. And I know that you are not a good man. I know your past. I know your history. I know about Wounded Knee and the Pinkertons. And of course, Berry. To which we're like, look, I'm just here to do a thing. I'm not here to take down your weird cult. I'm just here to do a job. And then some more things are said, and I can't remember what they are. But then you get a nosebleed. Don't worry about that. Again, these scenes have a lot more impact when they actually happen in person because the words are actually a thing. But yeah, so it turns out he knows you pretty well. He knows about your past. He knows who you are. He knows why you're here, which is interesting because you only vaguely know why you're here. But yeah, and he's basically saying, hey, I know who you are. You're the false shepherd come to lead my lamb astray. So at least now we know why it's false shepherd. And he's like, I will not let that happen. Big old booming Tannoy voice. Again, this is all a little bit glitchy. It's an old... Well, I imagine at the time it was state of the art, but compared to modern technology, it's a bit glitchy. It's a little bit staticky. But he talks to you with a great sense of authority. So yeah, I personally blame, just how incredibly loud his tannoy is. I've been in, like, cinemas that have had incredibly loud speakers and stuff like that, and it's just like, I would not be surprised if I came away from there with a nosebleed. Fine, don't worry about it. That feels more like it. Like that. So yeah, is there anything immersion? Yes, please. Migraine? No, thanks. The last film I ever went to see, which was bloody ages ago. In fact, you can look up how long ago it was. Because I went to see it when it came out. It was a film called Jumper. And it was all about people who teleport. Really can't remember anything else about it, to be honest. All I do remember is that the sound that was made when they teleport was just so loud. And so sudden. Very. Yeah, so there's probably more important things that are said here, but the general gist of it is that he says, he knows why we've come here. He knows he doesn't want that to happen. He says that we're going to lead his lamb astray, and that we are the false shepherd. That he is a prophet, that he knows who we are. He knows about our past, the Pinkertons, Wounded Knee, Barry, and so on and so forth. You watched that in the cinema with your brother. It was indeed a film. Yeah, I remember something like people can teleport to places that they can see, but if they've been there before and have a photograph of it, they can do that instead. So people carry around like photo books. I honestly don't remember it at all. My friend wanted to go see it. I'm not really a film person, to be honest. So yeah, and this screen is just sort of projected onto a, or not projected onto, it's a screen. It just sits on the side of a big old airship that's sort of floating in the sky. I think he might be standing on top of it with a microphone. It's an image that springs to mind, although that might be from a later point in the game. It's fine. Is that when is the... Oh no, that's just now, isn't it? Is it just now? There's a sequence with like an airship and stuff. I can't remember. It might be not right now after this. I might as well put it after this because I don't think it has much of a impact on anything much. Where do you... Here you, don't be stealing any of my sheep. I'm not here to steal your sheep. You stay away from my sheep. I cultivated this flock, it's mine, right? I sprayed it with yellow spray paint, that's how you know they're mine. I'm gonna give Father Jefferson a... I am the prophet. You are the false shepherd, you come to take away my lamb. I raised this city from the Sodom below. This is my new Eden. I made this. Get off of my city. You remember watching Harry Potter 2 in the smallest theatre room? They had a boy that did Snake in the Pipes rumble? What? Oh, in the smallest theatre room they had, and boy, did that Snake in the Pipes rumble. Sorry, I read that completely wrong. That was a cool 10-year-old though. I think I watched the first Harry Potter in cinemas. Tom Doff is a little bit, yeah. Hey, Tom Doff's a bit like that. This is a little higher up. Welcome to Country Matters. My name's Bob Fleming. Thinks he's an actual shepherd and is very confused. Yeah, is there anything else I feel like I'm missing out something in this conversation? Please keep that voice. Alright, I'm Father Jefferson. I guess we could also get a first name. Oh, we did have a first name for this character. I think it was Jeff Jefferson, wasn't it? Anyway, there's an exciting scene. I guess I should draw the general gist of this. I think it happens now. I can't imagine it happens later. Actually, does it? No, I'm gonna say it happens now. Yeah, I'm gonna say it happens now. It's just a cool little scene. Basically, a big old airship comes along and starts blowing holes in the building you're in. Apparently they have decided to stop putting their guns down. And so your course of action is to just jump on board the ship. So you're on board this airship and you walk in and there's like a console and you're like, oh great, I have an airship now. I can go where I want. This is amazing. And I could just fly straight there and fly straight out. Life's good. This is definitely not going to go wrong. So you're just like at the helm of this sort of airship. And then you took it, and you got the girl and left, and that was the end of the game. And it wasn't that fun. But over in the corner is a little. Over in the corner of this room is a little shrine, a little sort of thingy here with a. I guess I should probably draw this portrait as well. This is kind of important because it was missed earlier, so I might as well do it now. You'll have to see it eventually. We won. What do we win? You win. The surprise of a significant female character who didn't think any of this would work.
Well, that's just swell.
That's just swell. Hi, Jeb. It is swell because Chib's here. You're late. What did you miss? I can do a quick recap. We met some people in a bar who gave us a weird glitchy drink. It's perfectly healthy for you. Don't worry about it. We then went to this is a whole thing. Decipher this picture. We went to the Fraternal Brotherhood of the Crow, where we found a table full of rotting food and a bunch of definite crows eating it. It's just a weird kind of gothic building with full of strange stuff. And we are promptly attacked by some people who are having a meeting. Who are not they're not nice. Not nice people. But they're crow themed, and so we see a torture scene involving somebody being killed by a bunch of crows. And then we fight one of them, who is this is definitely what they look like in the game. But in doing so, we managed to get a new magical power on top of being able to make ghosts and fire. We can now make crows. Don't worry about it. And we never have to see them again. Then this happens. We get into a confrontation with, well, we arrive at a place and their big airship arrives with a screen on the side of it. And the prophet, Father Jefferson, speaks to us directly. And he says, I know who you are, false shepherd, and I know you've come here to take my lamb. And you are not lead my lamb astray. You are not a good person. You think you are, but you're not. I know about you and your past. I know your past with the Pinkertons and Wounded Knee and what happened with Barry. I know what you're like. You're not a good. Oh, sorry, that's not how he says it. My apologies. He says, I am the prophet, and you are the false shepherd come to take my lamb astray. And I know what you did with Wounded Knee and with the Pinkertons and Barry. So I reckon you're a wrong'un. You hear me? You're a wrong'un. And then Jack gets a nosebleed. Should I draw the nosebleed? No, it's fine. Great accent. Anyway, we've now just stolen an airship. Because they tried attacking us, but we jumped on and knocked everyone off. So now I have to draw a picture of somebody wearing a particular sort of outfit. And that's it, that's all that's happened so far. Got a nosebleed from the accent, probably, yeah. Hi, Mel. So what does this look like? It's a cutout. How have you been? You been having a good time? Having a good day? I'm gonna draw it like that. Why not? People will think that I'm a Discworld fan with that carrot. I mean, I've definitely been called worse things. One day I will actually get into Discworld, but your day was alright. Well, I guess that's better than absolutely definitely awful. I can't remember what this looks like. Oddly enough, these clothes are somewhat important. Not really, but kind of. As important as any clothes are going to be in this draw-through, but... I'm sure you'll forgive any slight inaccuracies. Also, I'm having trouble drawing people, although that's not a new thing. No inaccuracies on this channel. This is all 100% correct. I'm a prophet. I should know. I know everything, you know. This is exactly how it went down. Anyway, there's a thing here with there's some candles on it. Like a little shrine sort of thing. Little tea lights. And there's somebody praying in front of it who I will not draw right now. But they look like, I guess they look like a nun, kind of? Something along those lines. And we come into this room, we're like, hey, you're not holding a gun, I don't intend to kill you. Don't worry. I'm just here to take this airship, because everyone else is shooting at me and I want to get away. But yeah, I won't draw her for a second. So yeah, we're like, okay, cool, we can operate this. I know how to fly an airship, it's fine. Luckily for me, it has like controls on it that show like latitude and longitude and stuff, and I know how those work somehow. So is it ever explained how the main character knows about latitude and longitude of places? What? What's when? Kill her! Kill the nun! How dare you, miss? She's being incredibly peaceful. She's just worshipping at a shrine of some person you've never seen before. If there's one thing you've learned from being in this city so far, it's that the pious people are always nice. Howdy face. Something like that. It's a rough approximation of a human being. Face do lumpy. That's what we have ascertained so far. Push the nun. I do not believe you have the option to push a nun into the sea. Ba-da-ba-da. You'll just like pull the lever, there's a crank, and we can do the thing, and then it'll be fine. I know how to fly an airship. Got your little coat. And then there were shoes. And God said on the seventh day, let there be shoes. This is our Drawthrough. Little coat, big booty. Something dummy thick alerting Father Jefferson. Speaking of which, guess who's got his own ship? And also a microphone. I think it's one of those microphones that's got a thing around it. So yeah, a dirigible akin to your own floats alongside yours. Is it a dirigible if it's being powered by weird rocket sci-fi things? Looks like an airship. Yes, so the prophet himself, you can see him standing on a thing. He is alive. He's here. I don't know why you would doubt he would be alive, but just in case you did. No, that's not a spoiler for anything. I just said a weird thing. It's a derivable, a derivatable. It is very derivatable. I think it's derivatable what it is. Too much sugar. People can get the joke. Or the airship says, if it looks like an airship, it probably is one, unless it isn't. Yeah. Don't even know what a derivable means. I think he played Batman at some point. No, dirigible and debatable, yes. Dirigible's an airship, right? Hang on, I gotta look this up now. Dirigible. Capable of being directed. Steerable. Okay, apparently it's an adjective. Didn't know that. Okay, so I guess it was called a dirigible because it's like a hot air balloon, but you can steer it. How weird. Steerable self-propelled aircraft. Airship. Hey, you learn something new every day. So feel free to call your car dirigible. I'm coming to work in my dirigible. I took the public dirigible today. Etc, etc. You learned it from Kiki's delivery service. Nice. Wait, she's on a broom, right? I don't know. I'm assuming Kiki's the person. Might be the cat. Not the meaning, just what a dirigible is. Nice. I have no idea where I got the word dirigible from. Anyway, the prophet's here, and he says something along the lines of, the law. What does it say? Something along the lines of like. The Lord is infinite and is capable of infinite forgiveness, but I'm a prophet, so I don't have to. Which is slightly reminiscent of the old Mr. Muscle slogan, but yeah, he ends it by saying Amen, and from behind you hear somebody repeating Amen. Well, you turn around and see that the nun is now standing up. I don't know how to draw nuns. I really should get into the habit. Amen. Why didn't you push the nun? The nun's fine, don't worry about it. I'm just gonna say that she's wearing a big old robe. It's not like a proper nun outfit. It's fantasy Bioshock nun, but she's like, Amen. Yes. Very calm, serene-looking face. She then probably sets herself on fire. Basically, taking the airship down with her. So yeah, this old Father Jefferson, he's got some keen followers. Although I guess we already knew that because this is not the first person we've seen who comes after us by setting themselves on fire.
Amen.
Amen. I did once look up what Amen meant. This is a shortening of something, isn't it? Because like if you look at the other sort of Abrahamic religions, they have their own versions of that, but it's a longer saying. I guess Christianity was like, we're not going to remember that. Shorten it to something easy. So yeah, she just sets herself on fire. It happens. She does it. And then the entire thing goes on fire, and then you have to jump out and land on a skyhook. Or skyline. You have the skyhook. You go on the skyline. That's what it is. It means so be it. Which bit? Christianity speedruns religion. We've got to cut these corners quickly. I mean, I guess so. You can sort of look at, like, compare it to in Judaism, when people come of age, they've got to, like, recite huge chapters of the Torah from memory and stuff like that. It's like Christianity's like, nah, dunk your head in a fountain, it'll be fine. I say that as somebody who had my head dunked in a fountain. According to the dictionary, Amen is derived from the Hebrew Amen, I don't know if that's pronounced differently, which means certainty, truth, verily. Ah, verily? I want to end sentences with verily. Yeah, that happens. Then there's some more stuff, and then I think you arrive at Monument Island. Now cackling at the image of a prayer being finished and everyone in church just shouts, "Truth! Truth, Vicar!" Is that like is the Australian version? Struth? Go off, Vicar. So true. Oh dear. Yeah, okay, and I think we arrive after a bunch more firefighting and flying around on bits of metal in the air. I think we actually arrive at Monument Island, the big old, and Monument Island is that one. You can sort of see it in the background. There's a big old statue, which I will now attempt to draw in foreshortened perspective. I think it's got like sort of thing like that, and there's sort of wings that go up. And I think maybe sort of like holding something out or something. It's probably doing that thing that all the other statues were doing, where it's sort of holding something in front of it. So but yes, it turns out the statue is on top of a building. And thus we work our way into the building. So the Statue of Liberty style, I guess. I don't want to do an upskirt of a statue, do I? Uprobe. Hope you see what I'm getting at least. We here! Yes! There's a lot of gameplay at the beginning of this, but there's not really a lot of stuff that happens between the raffle and... I mean, it's taken me 2 streams to get from the raffle to here, but... Generally speaking, it is just a lot of jumping on houses and skylines and stuff. But we're here! We are at Monument Island, the place we were supposed to go. There's a big old monument on it. Who would have thought? I was gonna say there's like, sort of... I have no idea if it's holding a thing. It's a statue, it doesn't matter too much. It's probably symbolic of something. It's got big old wings. It's gold. You know, lots of stuff. And we're here to go into the building that it's attached to. Which has less of a majesty about it. I think we can say that safely. It's got like, I think it does have some windows on the outside, like some bushes and things. There's always a nice foliage. Like the Columbia is well kept, or at least the bits of Columbia we've seen so far are well kept. But like, there's a big old door that leads into here, but like all the windows are sort of barred. Which is always a good sign. I think there's some like, if there's a board up here that says something along the lines of like no entry or something. No entry unless given authorization. From the prophet, or something like that. And these are in like sort of boards painted sort of red and white, so they're sort of like grabbing your attention. This is not the this is not a place that anyone can just wander into. And Jack's just sort of here going, "Ooh, this is big." This is the second time I've been drawn from behind in silhouette. Fancy?
It's frozen. I can't open it.
Unfortunately, you can open it. And you do when you go in. Despite all the signs saying you shouldn't. Richest people in the city are gardeners and plumbers. We will see a plumber later, and I don't think it's incredibly rich. I'll give you a hint. This city is full of racists. Guess who does labor? And yeah, so there's just, it's basically a big thing. It's probably got a big thing saying, you know, Monument Island or something along those lines. Now, Herm indeed. But we're not there yet. Don't worry about that. Yeah, so we go in. This perspective is not quite right. Don't worry about it. We go in. What do we see? We see... How can I describe what's in? This is the other sort of Bioshocky bit of the game for me. Because it's sort of... There's a lot of equipment. I'm going to describe it like that. There's a lot of equipment. How am I going to draw that? I want to demonstrate this in one picture because I can't be bothered to draw anything else. So I'm going to draw Jack sort of standing here looking gormless as he does. There's like a railing or something. Jack will have more to do in terms of character and personality soon, don't worry about it. In the beginning, obviously, he spends most of his time just running around going, "Argh!" I love when you're drawing like stubble or a beard or something like that. You end up, because it has to go around the mouth, you end up drawing the moustache separately, which means that you either draw them without the moustache at first or with the moustache at first. And either way, it always looks weird. Don't know if it's because you missed half the stream, but you have no idea where we are or how we got here, even after the recap. Basically, there was the thing, there was the raffle, where we managed to get a spinning hook hand of death and killed a policeman with it by shoving it in their face. And that allowed us to travel through wires through the sky that connect up places to deliver goods and things like that. And basically we just traveled along those until we came here. There's a lot of gameplay, not a lot of story, basically. Yeah, lots of... Hang on. I drew a picture, didn't I? A lot of that. A lot of that going on. This is how we got from A to B, basically. Ah, the scalene triangle, yes. So yeah, the reason I haven't really explained how you got here is because it doesn't really matter at the moment. Most of the rest of the game will, you know, there'll be reason you're going from place to place and how and why you got there and stuff like that. This bit's just like we're running around trying to find this place. We were trying to find here, basically. We got a telegram saying that we should come here, so we did. Right, so what is in here? There's lots of big old machines with wires. And like those old classic sort of big old switch handles and they go ka-chunk and stuff and dials and those sorts of things, and more of those over here.
See a chunk.
See a chunk. Do I see a chunk? I'm not sure. Looks down. Oh yeah. Some more dials. And there's some big old cables that are coming down here. Like really chunky cables. And there's like the sound of like static and humming. In some places it's quite loud. And when I say humming, I mean like both electrical humming, but also kind of like a distorted human hum. There's some weird... again, if I'm going to praise this game on a lot of aspects, we're mainly here to pick apart the story, as well it deserves. But the one thing I will definitely praise this game on is its sound design. I can hear it. I can hear the sound that happens here in my head, which is quite something. It's supposed to be distorted and sort of weird, and yet I can actually remember exactly how it sounds. You can't guess I'm right-handed. There's also like massive speakers, which is where the sound is coming from. And I mean like huge. These things are bloody enormous. These aren't close to the camera, these are to scale. And they're throbbing and humming, and I believe next to them there's like a sign that says something like, hey, if you've gotten this far into this building, you are now obligated to undertake 2 weeks of quarantine. Two-week quarantine for, I guess, siphon exposure, something like that. Actually, I think there are like there are. The further you get in, you get these boards that say 1 week quarantine if you enter this room, 2 week if you enter this room, 3 week, so on and so forth. But yeah, and there's just like cables coming down. And there's buzzing electricities. Lots of stuff. There's also some blackboards. Now, a lot of stuff is written on the blackboards, and I don't remember a lot of it. But one of the ones I do remember... Actually, I remember one later in the game, but we'll get to that. Actually, I might as well say it now, because it's not spoilers or anything. There's a blackboard you see later in the game, and it's supposed to be in a place where there should be, like, just really mind-blowingly advanced scientific stuff going on. This is a flying city in the 1918s. There's some sort of, obviously, some genius mathematics and things like that. So there's like a blackboard with all this maths going on. And it's, if you actually know maths and you look at it, it's just basic trigonometric identities. It's like sine squared plus cos squared is 1. And like, which isn't even university level. Like that's pre-university. And I just found that very funny. But no, there's something that isn't very funny. Is this board, a blackboard. This blackboard has like drawn on it like different stages of like child to adult. Just sort of vague outline. I can't remember exactly the details of what's actually written on here. But there's like a kind of chart of growth and so on and so forth. And it's got some notes under it. And I can't remember the exact terminology, probably because I don't want to remember the exact terminology. Developers are not mathematicians. No, but you know, they can look stuff up. I'm not made of slime, but I can draw Flynn pretty well. I can work out roughly how it moves. Sure, if you Google university mathematics, you can get somewhere. Yeah, it's just funny. I found it funny. It's just like, it's not supposed to be important. It's just supposed to be a blackboard in a room. But I was immediately drawn to the maths on a blackboard and like, oh, I wonder what that says. Because usually it is like, it's oddly easy to make it impenetrable, because a lot of physics is based on notation that's not obvious. But no, they just went for like universally understood trigonometric. You know, they could have just put down some random Greek letters with random symbols next to them in strange places, and then you would never have known. Go to your local university, find the math students, and ask, hey, can I look at your notes? That would have involved effort. No, I'm not. This was not a lazy game by any stretch of the imagination. Most games aren't. There's a lot of people tend to underestimate how much work actually goes into making a game, but yeah, it's one of those things where they could cut a corner, so they did, and I'm fine with that. Anyway, yeah, there's like stages of development of people, and there's what is the term? I can't remember the term. Miss, do you remember the term that's on one of these boards that you're like, ooh? You're trying to find it, yeah. It's a kind of old-fashioned... Problem is I've got... I think this might tell you a little bit of kind of what's going on here. I've got kind of Bloodborne terminology in my head, and I think it's mixing it up. Specimen, no, there's something specific. There is talk of a specimen. I should probably have specified that. There's something to do with specimen growth or something. Broccoli? No, it's a... But there's something like, there's like an, this is all sort of on a sort of graph or chart or something. With like So there's some numbers here, and then like down here there's like a note. I'm probably just making up where this is, but I remember there being like a thing. Like, is it even worse? Is it like attached? I don't want to draw that. Oh, I'm trying to remember what the phrase is that's used, because it's just so specific as to be like simultaneously old-fashioned, scientific, and very unsettling. Oh, I wish I'd written it down, and I remember going past it and going, oh, I'll remember that. I didn't. Basically, specimen morphology. There is, again, there's this. Oh, I put specimen morphology rather than growth there. That makes sense. Nice to be specific. But no, there's a. Is it just like? I'm just gonna go for what my first thought was, which is like there's like a timeline down here. You're looking at the blackboard. It might not be on the blackboard. It might be somewhere else then. It's in that area, written down somewhere, and it's like there's a note to a time, or there might even be an actual physical object, which I refuse to draw, that says something along the lines of like. Something like that. And I don't think that's the exact terminology that's used. I think there's another phrase. But it's just not nice. Something like that. I don't think it is that. It's something else. What is the phrase? Oh, I'm gonna have to look it up off stream. What does that mean? It refers to let's say it contains the same derivation as the word menstruation. It was going to wrote menses as a joke. Yeah, first period. I can't remember the terminology that they used though. I remember it being just really like, oh. You're trying to find it. What is it? Is it? It might be menses, and my brain is short circuiting. But I do feel like there is actually like a physical object connected to that. And again, I refuse. Basically, it's unsettling. That's what I'm trying to get across here. There's some sort of weird biological thing going on. You know, this is the first of this sort of thing. It is, and it's horrid. This is a strange place. This is what I'm trying to get across. This is unlike anything you've seen before in this game. So far, it's just been racists and that sort of societally horrible stuff. Now it's like scientifically. Whole bit makes your skin crawl. Yeah. Just a lot of details about this specimen, and you don't get it. I'm trying to. How can I sort of effectively communicate what this room makes you feel? It's just got these sort of like scientific analyses of like the growth of a specimen, which is clearly a human, from a child to whatever stage they're at now on this chart, and it records things in like scientific detail with sort of notes, and there are developing photographs as well, in sort of hung up. Being developed. It all just has this sort of weird, sort of scientific, or not quite voyeurism, but like I don't know. It just feels really. Menage. That's the one. That's the one. Yeah, it's in the tube bit. They keep it, and it's horrid. That's it. Yes, there is actually. There's a. I'm gonna put a little opaque jar here. I'm pretty sure there is a rag involved, but I'm not gonna. You have to Google it. It means period. Yeah, it's just that particular word I feel like makes it more unsettling. They keep these things and it's vile. It's just like a human experiment. I guess maybe it makes more sense once we venture a little bit further on, which we shall do next time. So yeah, God, that went quickly. But yeah, we've gotten into the weird stuff now, and we will learn what's going on. What do you think is going on? Leave a comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and share my Twitter talks and Tumstagrams. But yeah, if I'm trying to explain something and it doesn't sound clear, do let me know. It might just be because you don't have the context for what's happening in general. Do you know what? Ford looks a lot like Jefferson. I've just realised that. That's interesting. Jefferson's hair's whiter, but generally speaking, it's not a dissimilar look. He's generic old man. That's fair. Gently flick the bell. What? No, I'm not saying that. You've made me say that. How dare you? Not going to say what's going on because you have an idea. Yeah, it's just interesting. Yeah, but we'll have to wait a week to see what's going on there. So yeah, let's we shall end the stream because I am surprisingly thirsty. I really need a drink. You have no idea what's going on at any time you're along for the ride. It'll become more story-like very soon. At the moment, it's just a succession of world building and trying to throw things at you that will make sense later. We're about to get to the point where it becomes a story. So yeah. Surprisingly Thursday for a Wednesday. What? Surprisingly Thursday for a Wednesday. What? Oh, the other thing I probably should mention in this place is that you find an audio log of the janitor here, who is, as I insinuated, guess who does all the work around here? He's black, and he's like, they think I'm stupid. Everybody here thinks I'm stupid just because of who I am, but I know what's going on here, and these people are, I'm smarter than they think. Yeah, so that also gives you a bit of a vibe. Oh, I said I was surprisingly thirsty. Sorry. The problem is that you lot have the ability to actually remember what I say, and I don't. And that is my fault. Like, that's not on you. But it's yeah. Sounded like I said Thursday. Yeah, surprisingly Thursday. Yes, so on Saturday, we finished Bloodborne. On Saturday, I believe the plan is that we'll be playing some Wildermyth. So anyone who has that game and wants to hop in, do let me know. I think Chibi and Dark and probably Ragdoll are up for it. Wildermyth! It's a multiplayer sort of story fantasy game. We've been playing it a little bit in our spare time, and we're going to start a little campaign for stream. It's a good silly time. There's lots of characters and stories, and yeah, just general silliness. So if you thought Bloodborne was a bit overwhelming, this will be silly. Expect Dark telling me what to do because I don't know what's happening. Very much in our little game with Dark, Chibi, and me, it's very much like Dark's in charge, Chibi's second in command. I have no idea what's going on. So, give you another character you can't emote for because their voice is too deep for your throat. Yes. Let's have a quick pre-stream discussion on which campaign. I mean, again, I'm up for anything. Just so long as I can possess some grass, I'm fine. Give me a spoon. I like my spoon. I know how to do the magics, and that's about it. You've just given me a fighter, and I'm terrified. They can't attack things from long range through dead trees and stuff. Ah, dear. It kindled the flame. Did something. Yeah, so we'll be doing that on Saturday. Got some fun Wildermyth times. Tomorrow, I believe, will be a chip stream. As I understand. And then Sunday will be group draw times. Chip stream tomorrow. Saturday is the Wildermyth. I'll have to make some Wilder snip. Yeah. Sunday is group draws. Tuesday probably more Wildermyth. Keep playing that till we finish the campaign. Yeah. And then after we played that, I'll hopefully play the Bloodborne remake. At some point, whenever Wildermyth is done. I don't know how long. I mean, typically the campaigns don't last that long. It's like 3 or 4 streams probably. Don't know. But now you also want to do a Drawthrough. Drawthrough. Chib Drawthrough. Chib Drawthroughs are great because they don't faff around with trying to draw every single action a character does in a scene. It's like, oh, why isn't this leg working on this completely unnecessary pose that I have drawn in between these two things that are much more important? It's like, just draw the thing and move on. Stupid brain. But yeah. Chip stream tomorrow. Wildermyth Saturday. Group draw Sunday. More importantly, a lovely week in between. Everybody have a lovely week. Hope it's a good one. Thank you for coming along. Hope you enjoyed. And I will see you at some point later. Your last Drawthrough just ended out of nothing because all your files got destroyed. Oh no, that's annoying. Well, at least I managed to try and, keep up with what's going on with Sadie and all the friends. And the cabbage salesman. Have a wonderful time, everyone. Look after yourselves. Be nice. Get more hot chocolate if you haven't had any. Have some. If you have more. Can recommend. Bye!